project, which will be with the Decorated with Happiness bundle. Get those things out of the way. We're going to do a little bit of embossing. So I've got a piece of pink, polished pink for my card base. I've got a 4x5 1/4 to go on the inside when we get to that point. I have a white frame that I have cut out with the Fabulous Frame dies. And then I have a piece of white that I cut just slightly smaller than the frame so it can go behind it. And actually, let me just measure this. I think it's just like slightly smaller than 3 1/4. Or no, it's 3 1/2. Yeah, it's a little smaller. By 4 3/4. Then I also have a piece of smoky slate. And I've also got the dry brush background stamp that we're going to be using. And I have some smoky slate ink here. And my smoky slate ink pad is a little bit inky, so I am going to press some of the ink back into the pad with the dull end of my knife here. And I'm going to add that to my background stamp. And I'm just leaving my stamp in the case because I'm not trying to be precise or perfect about my placement of this. It doesn't make any difference. So I'm just going to rub the ink onto my layer of cardstock here. And then we have the dry brush on there. And then what I did was I took the little foliage piece from the die set and I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Where are you? This one here. And now look what I have. So it just adds some texture because I know you're going gray. Yeah, my Christmas card is going to be gray and pink. I'm going to go a little outside the box tonight, which I do sometimes because it is kind of fun. And so we've got that. Then we also need some scraps of the pink. Here's some pink. I have some packing tape here. This is a tape gun that I use to package up all the things that I send out of here. But I'm going to pull off a little piece of tape. And I'm just going to stick it on this piece of cardstock here. Okay. There we go. So I've got it all pressed down onto the cardstock. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in some more of these, some of the dies. So I've got one of the ornaments there, an ornament there. I've got some little, these are, I guess they're little snowflakes. I don't know what they are. I think they're supposed to be snowflakes. Some stars, all that good stuff. And then I'm going to run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay. And then what I'm going to get, and I've done this already with a few different colors. And so here is what you get. Look at this. It looks like I embossed them. They are shiny. And they just look so cool. I don't know if the camera's actually doing them justice, but they are so cool. So then I did a couple of bows. I've got some bows in white. I didn't know what colors I was going to want to use for sure. So then I've got a gray bow. I've got some of these little snowflake pieces. I've got some stars, all out of a piece of cardstock with a piece of packing tape put over it. So it looks like it's embossed. So that kind of looks like I have pink embossing, or it was embossed in clear. I don't know. But I just thought that was a really fun technique. And so I am going to put these dies away so that I don't lose them. You guys know how it goes, losing stuff. It's a really cool technique. And I mean, the color combinations, or the colors are endless. I mean, any color cardstock you have, you can now have something that looks embossed. And I did the bell, and it's just so cool. All right, so let's push all those things out of the way for the moment. And so we're going to bring this. And so I'm going to go ahead and put these things together. And so what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my adhesive, or wait a second. I don't want to do this quite yet. Hold on. I got to think in my brain for a second here. So I'm going to lay this over here. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to end up putting my ornaments about like that. So the stamp set also has these little kind of squiggly things that go behind the ornaments. So you can see this one has one here. This one's got one. That one's got one. The foliage have them. And so I've got a couple of those already mounted. And all right, I got to get this so it doesn't move around, because I want to kind of put my, obviously the solid parts of my ornament, you know, behind where the ornament is. So I'm going to start with this one here. So I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp it off once because it is kind of dark. And then I'm going to kind of hold my hand where I want it to go and then stamp it. And I think that might have gotten screwed up. We'll see. We might be able just to wing it. I think we're going to be able to wing it. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. And then this one here, we're going to put up here somewhere. So I will ink this little guy, and I'm going to stamp that one off also. You know, maybe I should get my frame out of the way. Maybe I should just kind of do this. Then my frame isn't giving me some fits. Okay, and we'll just stamp that like that. And of course, it doesn't have to be perfect, because clearly the little color behind the ornament isn't the exact same shape. So it's not that big of a deal if it's not perfect. Okay. And I also want to add my sentiment. So I am going to put the frame back on here so that I kind of know that, you know, where my parameters are in there for my sentiment. And I did pick the sentiment out of the stamp set, and it says, wishing you a season decorated with happiness and wonder. And so I'm going to use basic gray for this. And we're going to try to do it straight. We'll see what happens. Sometimes we're lucky, sometimes we're not. Okay, so now I'm going to attach this to this. So I'm going to use these adhesive strips just because they're kind of easy to use. I'm just going to like pull the strip off of the sheet, and I am just going to add it kind of in the center, but close to the inside edge. Not so close that you can see it when you're looking at the card, but close so that I can, so that it will stick to the piece that I made to fit it. Does that even make sense? No, I'm not making sense to myself. How can I possibly be making sense to you? So that it'll fit on this. That's what I'm trying to say. Now I'm going to try to come down on this so it's in the middle. And it's not off center, and I think I got it. Yay, I'm a little off over here, but I think that's fine. And you know what I can do? I can always snip off some of this because it's a little close to the edge over here. So we're just going to snip some off so that it's not quite so close. Okay, so this is obviously going to go onto this, so no problem there. I'm actually going to put my foliage on here, kind of figure out where I want it to be. And I think what I'm going to do with it is I think I'm going to try to like hide a mini dimensional back here. I don't know how much luck I'm going to have with that. I didn't think this all the way through. Surprise! Okay, but I feel like there's a fairly thick spot right there that I might be able to put a dimensional in. And I kind of think that maybe nobody would notice it. And if I snip off just the little bit that I can see, I can kind of hide that. Okay. Then I'm going to add some just regular glue. I just needed something to kind of be there so that it didn't sag into the frame, because the frame is kind of lifted. And so I didn't want that to be stuck in there or sunk in there. And look at that. I got pink. Ugh. Of course I did. I might be able to fix that. We'll see. Anyway, for the moment, we're not going to do anything about that. And we're just going to figure out where the glue is going to go. I think that's going to be fine there. I think that's going to be fine like that. So we are just barely going to put some glue right here and then on the end of the thing there. So we'll just take some liquid glue and we'll just add it to that little foliage end there, and then maybe to the stem here. There we go. Take the dimensional backing off. And then we are going to add it to the card like so. Oh, my dimensional backing got stuck down in there. Okay. So then for these little guys, I am just going to use a glue dot because I've got these little bows that I did. I put tape on the white and I'm going to put them over the top here. So I'm going to hide my glue dot. So I'm just going to put a glue dot back here, like where you would have the hanger for the ornament. And I'll just kind of stick that on. I'll do that again with this little round ornament here. So cute. And I know pink and gray are just like, I just love pink and gray together. They're so amazing. And I mean, who says you can't have a pink and gray Christmas card, right? I mean, who makes the rules here? All right, so then I'm just going to add, and I could use a glue dot, but I've just got a little glue there. I'll add my little bows, and these are so cute because they are slick. They are shiny, which is pretty cool. Okay, and now they actually kind of raise up off the card. So there's kind of like some 3D action going here. I'm going to kind of work on my inside layer. I don't have a whole lot for the inside layer, but here it is. Here's my inside layer. And I kind of thought that I might just bring in the stamped image that matches the die cut that we stuck on the front. Pull that out of there. And I'm just going to stick it on a block because I really only need this the front part of the foliage here. Because I thought I would do this. I would ink this up, just the foliage part, and pretend like it's coming down from, outside of the card. And then I have this bell that I can just kind of stick there. I don't know. I think it's cute, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on some of these parts here. Dark gray bow. So I'm going to add this to the front. All I'm going to do is add some glue to the back of this white piece that I put under the frame. And we're going to look and see if we can get it to be, centered. Sometimes it works and sometimes it does not. Then I did die cut a bunch of these little, I'm calling them snowflakes. I don't know what they are, but I don't know if I need to maybe add some in there at all, or is it fine without adding something extra? I mean, I do have something extra to add because I've got these cute little adhesive backed pearls, and I kind of thought some silver ones might be appropriate. I don't know. Let's just see. Is that too much? Is that going to be too much on the front here, or is it going to be good? Whoops, I didn't get that off exactly the way I would want it to be off. Whew, that's kind of fun. And then maybe we could, Lisa's loving the snowflakes. I think I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to put a little dot of glue on the back here of it. And I'm just going to add one. And I don't know if I'm going to put them all. I kind of wanted to stick one up in here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. There's just not going to be any room because of where I put the foliage pieces. So maybe, I thought I had 3. I do. Rhinestones. I could use some rhinestones, Marilyn, but I kind of wanted to use these festive pearls because festive pearls are something that I'm including in the class. And so sometimes I try to use the products that I'm actually including in my class. And so I'm going to go with the silver festive pearls here. And oh my, I got a double. That was kind of weird. Okay. And we're going to try to stick them on our little snowflakes. So cute. Okay. Look at that. That's fun. Okay. Now we have our inside layer. So we're going to stick that on the inside, and I always work upside down because I can see better if the things are upside down. I know it's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. Okay. There, how fun is that? And of course, then you could do an envelope, and we could kind of do the same, the foliage piece that we just did. And we could add that to the front of the envelope there. So let's just kind of ink that up and stamp that. And I mean, honestly, I have another ornament. I could glue that on there. I don't know how it would venture through the mail system, you know, if it would get torn off. But maybe if you glued it on really good, or if you were just like hand delivering it, maybe you could do that. But I don't know. I think that would be kind of fun. So there it is. A little bit off the charts because it's a little bit of a different color combination. And I have to admit, you could absolutely make that a shaker card. If you put a window sheet on there, you could throw in some shaker bits. Absolutely. That would be awesome.